Tonight I'm having a few friends over, so I thought while I'm at it, I might as well share with you a couple of my secrets to making a cheese platter look really, really good. I do like to spend the time to go to the deli and get a really beautiful quality cheese. And today I've been to the deli and I'm lucky enough to have quite a few amazing cheeses to show you. The first one I've got here is a Gruyere cheese. And this one actually won a grand champion at the Australian Grand Dairy Awards, so I know it's really good quality. It's really amazing what they do. They actually wash the rind with this special brine which gives that cheese such great flavour. So that's one of my favourites and I'm using that one today. But I'm actually just going to cut a small amount off for my cheese platter. Ah, gorgeous piece. To make it easy for my guests to cut the cheese, I like to just cut one side off the rind. Secondly, I have a gorgeous cheddar here, and this one also won an award. It's actually a cheddar style cheese called Double Gloucester, and you can see it's got this natural, beautiful orange colour, and that comes from a natural colouring which they put in the cheese, and it's very traditional English style. This was actually made in Tasmania by a fantastic cheesemaker. So I've cut one up here, and what I like to do with this one, because it has a wax, again, I'll just peel some of that wax off to reveal the gorgeous cheese inside and make it easier for my guests to cut. Oh, look at the texture, that's gorgeous. The third cheese I wanted to use today is one of my favourites. This is an absolutely gorgeous brie from the Barossa Valley. And I'm lucky enough to have a whole wheel that I bought from the deli. Oh, that looks incredible. So this one's been sitting out for about half an hour to 45 minutes, and the harder ones have been there for about an hour, coming to room temperature. Oh, I can feel how oozy it is. It's delicious. Oh, now check this out. Oh, look at that. You can see, because that is actually a traditionally ripened brie, that there's still a little bit of chalkiness in the centre, but that's all just part of the cheese making. But while I'm at it, I thought I'd show you how to just, even if you can just afford one really good cheese, make it look really, really good. Maybe for a romantic dinner or something. I've got this amazing blue here, and this one's from Gippsland. It's quite a large piece, so I'm going to just cut down, and I'll cut that one in half. Oh, look how beautiful and yellow that is. And that's really characteristic of Australian cheeses. You'll notice Australian cheeses, because the cows are usually fed on pastures, they've got a gorgeous rich yellowness to them, whereas the European ones tend to be a lot more of a flat white colour. With some of the stinky cheeses, well, what I call stinky, like blue, sometimes brie or washed rind, the sweeter accompaniments tend to go better. Surprisingly, things like honey drizzled on blue cheese is amazing. So I'm going to just drizzle a gorgeous bit of that honey over my blue. Just a little drizzle, and make sure you do this close to serving time. Then I actually have some fantastic figs here, which one of my Greek friends brought around to me fresh from her tree yesterday. So I'll just tear one of those open. It doesn't need to be perfect, just on the platter like that. If you're lucky enough to have figs, use those. Otherwise, things like cherries can be great when they're in season. And the other tip I have for this is, get some really decorative crackers and just put a few on the platter. I don't like to put piles and piles of the things on, just for decoration, and then put the rest in a bowl on the side. The harder cheeses tend to go with saltier, more pickled accompaniments. These are bread and butter cucumbers, and they're actually my favourite with cheddar. I always like to put things like wet accompaniments in just a small container, just to hold all the juices. And to suggest to guests that perhaps they should eat the strawberries with the brie, I usually like to just cascade them off a little bit. Now we're still looking a little bit bare, so perhaps I'll just sprinkle some nuts on. Sometimes I like to just not have the nuts in a bowl, just free form next to the cheese. I know they go everywhere, but that's just natural. That's the way I like it, very natural. And I think as well, we've got some gorgeous little water cracker biscuits here. And I'm just going to put a little pile of them in the centre. Just a suggestion. Again, don't put too many fanned out around the platter or anything like that. I'm thinking that looks pretty good. Now it's time for the finishing touches, which is, of course, the knives. But the one tip I have for you is please put a different knife for every cheese on the platter. It's really cheese etiquette, and there's nothing worse than if you don't like something like blue cheese and somebody's cut the blue cheese and then leaves a big hunk of it on the brie. So it's always nice to have a different knife for every cheese. If you don't have 3 cheese knives at home, just use a butter knife for something like a brie or a pâté knife. It'll work beautifully. So that's my gorgeous cheese platter, and just a small one for 2 here. I really want to get into that one. But of course, what would a cheese platter be if you don't have some wine to go with it? My absolute all-time favourite match is a gorgeous blue cheese with a sticky wine. The thing is, a lot of people think that red wine goes with blue cheese, and yeah, it's personal preference, but traditionally blue cheese does go with a sweeter wine. It tends to cut the fattiness. So I actually think I might have a glass of that now and enjoy it. I hope you'll get your cheese platters looking as great as this next time you entertain.